Hey guys, welcome back. Trying to zoom you guys out a little bit because I'm in my husband's car today. It was okay. I am on winter break. Today is the 31st, so I'm just gonna do my December wrap up because I started 2 books yesterday. It ain't no way I'm gonna finish them by the end of the year, but that's okay. I reached my 50 book goal for this year. Barely, because I literally finished them on the 30th, both of them. One was an audiobook and the other one I had like an hour left to go. So I finished both, the last 2 that I needed to reach my goal. But it's okay because this year has just been a year. Anyways, welcome back to my channel. My name is Elizabeth and I'm here to do my December wrap up. I have to say I'm kind of getting out of my slump, and the book that I'm reading now, like, you'll find out what it is in January, but I can't stop reading. I love the way that it's written, and I read like 15% of it yesterday. I started it late last night, but I read like 15% of it, and I can't stop. So anyways, in no particular order, I read 6 books. I hadn't read 6 books in a month, and I don't know how long, probably since the beginning of the year. But either way, I'm just gonna go ahead and I'm gonna start pulling them out. So the first book that I finished, I actually listened to it, so I'm getting back in the audio. Okay, so for me to listen to an audiobook, it needs to be like a light, fluffy book. It can't be too heavy, because if I miss something, I'm not gonna go back and listen to it. And if I need to be like listening constantly with kids and responsibilities, for me, that's hard to do. So I need like light, fluffy books. So this author is a perfect example of it. And the first book that I finished in the month of December was, ooh, you can't even see that, can you? There we go. Nothing Like the Movies by Lynn Painter. I did read Better Than the Movies, I think back in 21 or 22. I want to say it was 21. There was just something about it. I remember I was reading when my mother-in-law was at an appointment, and I was walking around with my daughter because her appointment was taking long. And there was just something about it I didn't connect as well. But then everybody keeps saying, oh, you know, it's such a good book. So I'm like, you know what? Let me give it a shot. I got the book at a thrift store for like $3. So I was like, you know what? Whatever. $3, no matter what. It doesn't hurt. And then I bought this one because I'm like, okay, I know she has my name, Elizabeth. They call her Liz, but still. Not many characters have my name or like some form of my name. So I went ahead and I bought this one. I vaguely remember the other one, so I read the other one and then I read this one. Let me open up my Goodreads. Let me actually put my phone to charge because I did not charge it last night, which is okay. So that means I'll just have to charge it today. Okay, it's deciding to not charge because my husband's charger in his car is kind of broken. There we go. See, now it decided to get. So let me see. I believe I gave it a 4-star. I don't think it was a 5-star because it didn't give me that 5. Yes, I gave it a 4-star. I didn't give it that 5-star feeling, but I did like it. So some parts of it made me cry. So Liz and Wes, in this book, they kind of break up, and you find out why. It's kind of a stupid reason, but it's just, I don't know. I don't know how much I can say. They find themselves in college together. He's in a healthier place. He knows he broke her heart, and he's determined to make her fall back in love with him. And it's just the things that he does. It was super cute. I loved it. I end up giving, I think, both books a 4-star. I think Better Than the Movies, I gave a 3-star the first time. Now this time I did give it a 4-star. I gotta get back into journaling so I can really remember what my thoughts were. And like I said, since I listened to it, I don't remember a lot of it, but I know that I really enjoyed it, and I was one of those things that I could not stop reading it. So that was the first book. The second book that I listened to, also by Lynn Painter, is Betting on You. I'm sorry that the lighting is horrible. The sun is like this way, and then I have like the sun thing here for the car. It's horrible, and I'm kind of hiding out outside my house so that my son could eat, because he's to the point that he doesn't want to eat. Anyways, I'm going to show you something that I never thought I would do, and you know what? It is so much fun. So are you ready? Look what I did right up here. I am annotating my books. At least the ones that I can, because the one that I'm reading now is from the library. So I was able to get it both physically, because I do like to read books physically when I can, and I got it digitally through the library as well. So I like highlight on my Kindle because I can't highlight in the actual book. But if I like the book enough, I'll probably buy it. But I annotated. This one, I don't remember if I gave it a 5-star or a 4-star, but this one I related to a little bit more. There is something, this one I gave a 5-star, you see? Her name, I forgot her name. Bailey. She is from divorced parents. I know what that feels like. Now, her parents got divorced when she was older. My parents got divorced when I was 2. But either way, I know what that feels like. And then she meets Charlie, who is also the child of divorced parents. And it's just... Let me see if I can find something that I highlighted. Because I highlighted quite a lot. I'm surprised. Should have tabbed, but I'm not there yet. But it was just... The way that she felt about a lot of things is kind of the way I feel. So she moved to Omaha. And it's just like the fact that her mom has moved on. Her mom has a new boyfriend. So she's kind of struggling. My mom never had a boyfriend. I guess because she focused on me. And it got me asking myself, if my mom did have a boyfriend, would I have been kind of jealous and like saying, oh, you know, he's just here to ruin our bubble, our perfect little life. Like, well, I don't think I would have thought like that, because I've always wanted her to find someone. She just hasn't. But I don't know, it's just things like that. And then after years, her and Charlie end up working together on the same job. And then they have friends, like a friend of hers and a friend of his got, you know, they became friends. And then Charlie's like, no, I bet you, I forgot what the bet was, but I bet you that boys and girls cannot just be friends. And she said, yeah, they can. So that's how the whole thing started. And then as they slowly started falling for each other, like she realized that she was falling for him. And Charlie, he was like, no, because this can't be, because then we can't be friends, you know, and if anything ever happens, then we can't, you know, continue being friends. And it was just that. I guess I gave this one a 5-star because I related to the whole thing that they're both from divorced parents. His mom did move on, you know, and had more children, but it's just, I mean, that doesn't matter, but like Bailey didn't. Like her mom's progress was a little bit slower. And then as she started to realize, I forgot what the boyfriend's name was. But as she started realizing, oh, maybe he's not as bad as I thought he was. Initially, her view of him started changing. And honestly, me and my brain and the way this world is, I thought of him a certain way, and then as the book progressed, I started changing. I'm like, oh, okay, so yeah, this is not what I thought. This is not who I thought he was gonna be. He turned out to be a pretty decent guy. So that's the other one I listened to. While I was listening to those two, I reread Daughter of the Moon Goddess. This one, the first time that I read it, I listened to half of it, a little bit more than half of it, and then it just continued like the last 20% of it, or the last 40% of it. And I can't do this type of book listening because I missed out on everything. The first time I read it, I gave it a 3-star because like I said, I missed a lot of information. The second time, I gave it a 4-star. I don't know if I annotated this one. I don't think I did because it's kind of fantasy. Nope. And some of it flies over my head. This is a YA fantasy, which is why I liked it. So it's about the moon goddess. She became an immortal when she wasn't supposed to. And part of her punishment is that she has to make sure that the moon rises and falls, you know, every day. But then she has a daughter that no one knows about. So somebody comes charging into the moon to, I think, destroy her or something. It was something like that. And the daughter has to flee. So the daughter goes down to the celestial kingdom, and she can't say who she is because if not, it's going to make things worse for her mom. So then eventually she finds her way into the celestial palace. You have the prince, and then she becomes like a soldier for the war. And then there's a war that's waging. And eventually she just goes back home to her mom. But there is a part 2, which I'll just talk about it now, which is the one that I really wanted to read because this was my first time reading, and that's Heart of the Sun Warrior. I have to say this one was more, I did give it a 4-star, but this one was more interesting to me than the first one. I don't know why. I guess because it was new. I kind of expected what was going to happen in the first book. Duh, it's a reread. But this one, so now everybody knows that the moon goddess has a daughter. It's not a big deal. They were reunited at the end. Everything continues the same. She has to make sure that the moon rises and falls, blah, blah, blah. But now there's another force or somebody that's coming and threatening that kingdom again. So she is back with the emperor, who she does not get along with. She is back with the prince, where something happens with her and the prince, but she is back with the prince. There's like a little love triangle where she can't decide between 2 people within the books. I was not expecting the ending to this. Kind of wasn't satisfied with the ending. I mean, the ending is explained, but I don't know. I guess I would have wanted to see more of whoever she chose, I would have wanted to see a little bit more of that. Considering how that ended, like the development of that relationship with the person that she chose to be with at the end, I would have wanted to see that more. But this one had a twist that I did not expect. Like, who it was that became like the enemy, I was not expecting. I did have moments where they got to me where I had to like stop and like cry a little bit. But all in all, it was pretty good. And the best thing is that I'm done with the series because it's only 2 books. So yay me. Now, if you notice, I went on like a little Lynn Painter listening binge. So I read, and I'm surprised because I bought this book early this year, but I read her earliest, her newest release, and that is Fake Skating. This one also, I believe I gave it, gotta remove more of that sticker. I believe I also gave this one a 5-star. I will tell you now when my Goodreads decides to update. Nope, I actually gave this one a 4-star. This one, she is also the daughter of divorced parents. So she's also a figure skater. So she goes to live with her mom and her grandfather at her grandfather's home. Her grandfather is a very famous retired hockey player. And when she was a kid, her mom's best friend has a son, I forgot his name, Alec. You know, they were friends. So then now she's back in this hometown, and the mom is blending right back in, like picking up where she left off with her friends. And she is a little worried, you know, because something happened between her and Alec that they stopped talking cold turkey. It is explained what happens, but just something happened where they just stopped. So they kind of have like this resentment, like, oh, you broke my heart, nor it was you, blah, 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 and all this stuff. This one, I think, hit more in certain aspects with the divorcee because her dad is a military dad. And there's a part that it pissed me off because he's stationed in Germany. I'm sure that he could have asked, I mean, I don't know how this works, but I'm sure that he could have asked to be stationed in the US, closer to his daughter, so that he can continue having that relationship with his kid. Now, her grandpa never liked the dad. And there's a part where the dad asks her to choose to live with him, and then he'll come to the States. Really? In what world do you think she's gonna leave her mom to go live with you? I don't know. It's like, why would he, if he loves her, why would he put her in a predicament where she's gonna have to choose between him and her? I don't know. I didn't find that fair. I also annotated this one. I should have tabbed, but I don't remember what chapter it was, but there was one where it was the... Let me see. You see, I annotated it. I didn't highlight it because it was a lot, but I annotated it. So this is the grandpa that's talking. That's bull, and you know it. If you gave a damn, you'd take any assignment. I'm skipping some words. Any assignment in this country to be closer to her. You'd move to Offutt, even if you hated it, just so you could see her every once in a while. You take any little crumb you could get because she's your daughter and she matters to you. But no, you have to be a manipulative dick and convince her that she has to move one more effing time to be worthy of your love. And that is like, man, that was her grandpa that told the dad that. I applauded that. And then I continued. Alec grabbed my sleeve and leaned closer. What is that about? Are you going to move again? I could see by the way he was watching me that he knew it wasn't good. And I could see that he was fully expecting me to tell him what was going on. But I had no idea how to explain because I knew he wouldn't understand. And neither would my mom or my grandpa. They saw my dad as a huge jerk, which wasn't necessarily wrong. But because of that, they wouldn't get that he was trying in his bossy colonel way to be a good father. To spend more time with me. He was willing to move somewhere he didn't want to live just for me, which was huge. Yes, he wanted me to leave my mom, which I just couldn't do, but it was because he loved me. And that meant something. It kind of meant everything. Now, I told myself, I can see where she thinks this is love, but I have to side with grandpa on this. And I do. Because you don't do that. You sacrifice for your kids, for the better of your kids or whatever. You sacrifice for your kids. You want to stay in Germany? Go ahead and stay in Germany, but then don't be saying that because of her, that you need her to live with you. I don't know. I didn't like that about the dad, and I'm so glad that the grandpa put him in his place. I'm so glad I found that annotation for you, too, because I was so proud that I actually annotated. I believe I did this one. I should have done this one in blue. I also did it in yellow, but whatever. And then... Oh, I forgot to mention, this is one of the books that I finished reading yesterday. And then the last one that I finished listening to yesterday was The Off Limits Rule by Sarah Adams. I love her for audiobooks because they are so they're cute. And like, if you miss something, it's not a big deal. I started annotating this one, and I listened to it while not having the book. So I really didn't have time to continue annotating all that much. But either way, I like this one. I gave it a 4-star. It is about Lucy. She is a mom she's a single mom to a 4-year-old, and she has to go live with her brother, who is a doctor or whatever. And she falls in love with the brother's best friend, and the brother's best friend falls in love with her. But her brother has one rule: they cannot be together, because Lucy needs somebody that's strong and somebody that's just not, I want to say his name was Charlie? Cooper. I knew it was a C. And according to Drew, which is Lucy's brother, she needed somebody that was not Cooper. Somebody that wasn't with a woman every other day. You know, a new woman every other day. And Cooper realized that he can be what Lucy needed. And their development was really cute. There is a second part to this, which is the temporary roomie, which is Lucy's best friend, Jesse, and Lucy's brother, Drew. So let's see how that goes, because I'm only in like chapter 1 of that one. I usually tend to listen to books on my way to work and stuff like that, and I haven't been working. I don't go back until Monday because I have off until Monday. So that one might take me a little while. But this one was really cute. I love all of Sarah Adams' books. To me, she is such a great author. She makes you laugh and giggle. She is usually closed door romance, which I do appreciate. I mean, I don't mind smut, but just not all the time. Like, I can't all the time with the smut. So I have to say, I don't think I read any books that had smut this month. They were all YA, except for the Sarah Adams, but she's closed door. And this is an older book of hers. So now she's experimenting more with open door, but it's not really all that bad. And she'll tell you at the beginning, like, oh, if you want, if you really want a closed door romance, don't read chapter 5. Like, just to give you an example, she'll give you a warning at the beginning, and you honestly can skip the chapter. It's not going to be a big deal. But the smut is not, it's not bad smut, but whatever. So I read pretty good amount of books this month. I read 6 books. Let me know if you've read any of those, if you liked any of those, and also let me know what your favorite book of the month was, and I'll catch you guys next time. Bye.